Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. It's so good to see you today. Are you excited for fall? It's getting really chilly here. So, like 40s and 50s Fahrenheit for my overseas friends. Um, time to pull out sweaters and jeans and be all cozy. But that doesn't mean we get to sit on the couch all day. We still need to get in our movement. Um, I enjoy, a daily walk out in nature, which, in essence is my neighborhood. We have a nice area where there's a lot of trees, in backyards and, in between houses, we'll have some trees. So it's very nature like when I do go for a walk in my neighborhood. So that's very nice. But we also need to do some structured exercise, especially lifting a few times a week. And it's really important when you do that structured exercise time that you sync certain parts of that with your cycle. So let's get into that. The first phase of your cycle is menstruation from day 1 to around day 5, maybe 6, 7, whatever it is for you, right? And you may not feel like doing a lot of exercise those first few days. Your energy levels might be a little bit lower, so just kind of be gentle and kind to yourself. It's a good time to do things like yoga or Pilates or light stretching. Do some meditative movements, right? These activities really kind of help ease cramps and improve your blood circulation. So just kind of go low to moderate intensity, right? And if you're lifting weights, it's fine. You can lift weights during this time, but kind of go lighter on the weights. But that also means that you can increase your speed and reps during this time, right? So with a lighter weight, you can, do it faster or do more. And it depends on, what you do. If you do reps or if you do a time, then, either one of those works. And then kind of as day 5 or 6 rolls around, you kind of start to feel some of your energy coming back, right? So next, that phase is the follicular phase. It actually happens during the entire time from day 1, until, ovulation is the follicular phase. But, they really talk about it as that second part. So you'll kind of know when you're in this phase because, unlike the first 5 days or so, you'll start to, increase your energy more. You'll start to feel like, oh, I can do more. I feel like I have more energy, and it'll start to rise. And that's mostly because of the estrogen you're producing to get ready for ovulation. So this is a good time to be more active. So around days, 5 or 7, right, through around days 13 to 16, right? So it's a good time for maybe cardio workouts, jogging, cycling, or dancing, if you like to do cardio workouts, right? Not essential to do those types of cardio workouts, but if you like them, this is the right phase to be doing those in. It's also a good time for lifting weights that are, kind of like that medium to slightly heavier range, right? Not your max. You say that for the next phase, but those medium to heavier weights. But remember to pay attention to form. And again, then you're going to go a little slower if you're, medium to heavy weights, and you may not do as many reps. This intensity can be moderate to high, but remember to listen to your body, especially as you're moving from that first phase into the second phase. You want to make sure your energy levels are increasing before you start, going into that heavier, more intense workouts. If you feel like pushing harder, though, go for it, right? Third phase is ovulation from around days 13 to 16 to 15 to 18, right? It just depends on what your natural cycle is. A lot of people say it's a 28-day cycle. So then that would be around day 14. But, it depends on your cycle. So somewhere about right in the middle of your cycle is when you ovulate. And that's when you start to gain your highest energy level. And because you also have your highest level of testosterone. So this is kind of really the best time for muscle building. So it's a good time for high intensity interval training, strength training, right? That it's the time to challenge yourself. Remember to stay hydrated and use proper form, especially when you're lifting, right? But this is also the time that you can lift your max or do an increase, bump up your weight a little bit during this time because you have the ability in your body with your testosterone levels higher to rebuild your muscles. The next phase, the final phase, the luteal phase, is from, like I said, around days 16, 18 to 28 to 30, right? Typical 28-day cycle, it's 18 to 28, the last 10 days. But remember, everyone's cycle can be a little different, right? So if you're tracking, make sure you track so you know how long your typical cycle is. So those last 10 days or so of your cycle, that is when your progesterone starts to come up. And, progesterone helps to make things kind of loose, flexible, so that you can eventually have a baby, right? So that's what that progesterone starts to do. And your energy levels also may start to dip again during this phase. You might start to feel a little sluggish. A lot of people get PMS during this stage. And it's all normal, right? Sometimes the intense symptoms aren't as normal, but, getting into a rhythm with your cycle will help with that. So choose movement that is gentler on your body during this final phase. Walking, swimming, restorative yoga. Keep your intensity kind of low to moderate. You can still lift if you want, but go lower on weights and slower with the best form you can because you want to minimize your chance of injury, right? With the loosening of all your ligaments and everything, right? The opportunity for you to be injured during this time is greater because things are so loose, right? I know that I tend to turn my ankles and, I haven't looked at it specifically, but around that time, during this phase is probably when it was so much easier to turn my ankles, right? Your body will thank you when you take yourself more gently during this phase. You just, and I know it's hard, especially if you're like a type A person. You really want to keep up your routine and go, but you want to pay attention to your body's natural rhythm. And you want to use that to your advantage. So make sure you're listening to your body. Adjust your workouts based off the phase you are in and be flexible with yourself during those times. If you go to do a workout, say maybe day, 13, 14, and you think you're going to lift heavy, but maybe you're not quite there yet, then don't worry about it. Just do what you can do and don't push yourself if you don't feel like you can push yourself, right? Keep it so that you're listening to what your body is telling you. And the key overall, right, is to move and honor your body throughout all of your phases. You got this. If you need help with cycle syncing your exercise, comment or message me, and we can get on a call and create a plan that works for you and your body. Until next time, have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.